Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, welcome to episode 16, Agree to Disagree Talk. I am your host, Armond Anderson Bell. Joining me for a special edition today on the panel, today's topic, Do Black Dads Matter? So before I start every show like I normally do, I'm going to get the disclaimer out of the way because we don't want people in their feelings. And I have a feeling that people are going to be in their feelings on this because it's such a wide topic. With that being said, this show is geared towards the educating, empowering, and the implementation of voices, thoughts, and points of views from whom by society and sometimes self-standards, way of thinking are oftentimes misheard, misunderstood, and badly misrepresented. By no means does this show wish to offend anyone outside of the black male perspective, nor speak for anyone but the host, myself, and our guests. We wish to raise attention and awareness of this through our controversial topic of discussion, which today is one of them. We wish to change the perception from an us versus them and a me against the world attitude to levels of self-awareness, self-evolution, and self-accountability in the hopes of making it a better world and place for us all. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, haters and lovers and haters, Agree to Disagree Talk, episode number 16, Do Black Dads Matter, is officially on the docket. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm really happy. This is really cool. I'm really excited about this. For those of you who don't know, the topic of the day is Do Black Dads Matter? That topic stems from a viral post of a gentleman by the name of Chef Dom out of Florida. He was a single father raising a little boy for 10 months. And then out of nowhere, he gets a call from the court saying, you have to go to court. Come to find out, the child was not his. Mm-hmm. The biological father came in and took the child toward his world upside down. It's devastating. So we're going to start with you guys first, give a little brief who you are, how many children you got, and we're going to get into this topic. So, Mr. Rayshawn.
Good evening. My name is Rayshawn Chism. I am an actor here in Los Angeles. Real good friends with Mr. Anderson Bell.
Yes. Well, not like that, Joe.
We are very platonic.
Yes.
Very, very platonic. It's okay. No, but a good friend of mine invited me to join on this with him on this podcast, and I am honored. This is my very first podcast, so. Mr. Anderson Bill, you broke my chair.
Yes, God.
You popped my chair.
One. Ding for me.
And regarding this topic, I am a father. I have one daughter who is the light of my world, the apple of my eye. My 11-year-old daughter who we have a great relationship. We're not physically in the same place. She lives in Las Vegas with her mother, but we talk every day. So this topic is very near and dear because it's dealing with fatherhood, something that I thought I wasn't ready for. I'm still not ready for, but I'm doing the best that I can. So,
all right. Well, thank you, Mr. Rayshawn, and you, sir.
Yes. Hello. I'm Lorenzo Franklin, good friend with Armond. I do a lot of stuff. I do like a lot of IT. I do acting, writing, dancing, whatnot. It's a brief. I've been in the military and other kind of things. Thanks, but
Watch your drink.
I know it's might get empty this minute.
Okay.
It's about me. I'm from Detroit. I've been in LA for maybe 12 years. I got 2 sons. They're not really kids anymore. They're like 28 and 25, so I've been a minute.
oh, them some grown ass
Men.
men.
So almost done. But, you're never really done as a parent or anything. So, and they're over in Nebraska, so I was there for a minute. Hopefully we get some good topics on here. I've had a lot of life experiences, as a Mormon for a minute and Baptist. And just
have any
many
life
things.
experiences.
Come
My
on.
child is
You look like you had some life experience.
My child is 11. Yours are grown, paying taxes.
And my tubes are tied in a knot. I double dutched with them the other day. So
Way, man. My tubes are tied too. They were cut and tied.
Oh.
Wouldn't have happened again. Like two
Okay.
and done.
See, that's ooh.
Mine's ain't. I'm still trying to sow my royal oats. My baby said by the end of 2020, she want a little brother, a little sister.
Oh, you still have work to do.
I got to find somebody that like me. Shit, that's the first part. Before I try to impregnate anybody.
Okay. And people know my name is Armond Anderson Bell. I am not a father, but I am a son. And I want to give a quick shout out to my stepmother yesterday, Miss Lisa Lowe. I had a wonderful conversation. My father is no longer with me, and I learned at an early age that he was not my biological father. So we never really had the conversation on why. And I thought I would be remiss if I started this show without a little closure, a little something. So I was able to talk with my stepmother yesterday, who gave me a lot of insight on the things my dad thought because I'm 18 months older than my brother. And it was really therapeutic for me, and I'm so glad I got to do it. Healing is such a beautiful thing. Oh my God. It's such a beautiful thing. And I wanted to do this show to get that out there, because this is something, when I saw the topic and I put it on my page, it struck me because I just can't fathom raising a child for 10 months. And after doing further research, I went on his page. It mentioned that, the mother wasn't there. I thought maybe she had died or something. No, she walked out. After a month, she walked out. And so Chef Dom was caring for the son. He had his family helping him out. He had a babysitter who didn't charge him as he continued, because he's a chef. His page is phenomenal, the food and everything. I'm like, man. But this sudden verse just rocked his world. And I wanted to talk about the things we never really highlight Black fathers and their importance and the internal struggles as well as being a father. We always hear about baby daddies being bad. We see shows like Jerry Springer and Maury Povich and things like that. And we never really...
Y'all know those are scripted shows.
Right. Well, some of them.
They're not real talk shows. They're scripted.
Right. But they are too... But they give you a bad light.
Oh, yeah.
On what, a father is. And so I really wanted to have men in here to talk about that. Again, my show is dedicated to starting conversations that we normally don't have. And I'm really proud of, thus far the things. I also have a call-in number, so if anyone would like to call in to have a brief comment or question, the call-in number is area code 323-577-7630. Once again, 323-577-7630. So I did a few, moments of researching, as any good journalism should do. And I found out that there is a different paternity order for each state. So depending on what state you are, there's a certain thing. So I'm just going to read something really, really quick, and it discusses what the fathers have and what they don't. And so it basically said establishing parentage means obtaining a court order or signing an official declaration of parentage or paternity that says who the legal parent of a child are. For example, if the parents of a child were not married when the mother became pregnant or when the child was born, the child does not have a legal father until parentage is established. So even if a father can prove he is the biological father of a child, he was never married to the mother, he does not legally have any rights or responsibility for the child. For that, parentage must be established. Gentlemen, this is California's. Your thoughts?
This state is not set up for people of color or people born of male nature. If I can say that.
Yeah.
That's really disturbing. That's really like, wow, that is really disturbing, because basically if you don't marry her before the child is born,
right,
you legally have no rights to that child. And like, just think about like all the men that who are out there creating babies and thinking they about to take care of them, and the baby mama up jump and just say, hey, yeah, no, this child is coming with me and you can't have no parts of it, probably because they didn't work out.
Right.
and so they want to use the child as leverage over the father, and the state clearly is backing them up.
Right. It's I was up and I went, researching. I don't have any kids, so I had no idea of this. There's also something when the child is born, if the father's not there, there's a parentage, and they're very tricky in the word. There's parentage and establishing all the things that you have to. If you're not there to sign a birth certificate, then you have to declare your association, I guess. Lorenzo?
I have no idea about that. It's like, for myself being born, I didn't get a birth certificate till years later. I never even knew my dad. My mom just wrote something in, and even years later, he claimed he was not my dad. In my situation, my first one was born in Utah,
Okay.
so entirely different. We were married, so not really come into play in any of this stuff. But this law seems like it's very doesn't make any sense.
Right. And it's very one-sided, and I've observed the one-sidedness, so to say, of female. And again, I also want to say really quick before we get anything, I am also in the process of working on a single mother show, as well as a show highlighting
That should be interesting.
co-parenting. So I don't want anyone to think we're here bashing women or, but this is a side to our community that we don't often hear about. As well as we hear about the strong mothers and the things that they do for the children, there are men who want to be fathers and they're not allowed to be fathers from the mother. Rayshawn, what's up?
Okay, so I'm reading this again. Even if the father proves that he is the biological father of the child, and if he was never married to the mother, he does not legally have any rights or responsibilities to that child.
Right. And this
But
is all.
she can go put him on child support.
And again, you have to prove what they're saying. You have to establish parentage, which is really ironic. Like, and again, we see the mothers. Also, another video that went viral as well. I don't know if you guys saw it, and I sent it to you guys. Was as she claimed, she's petty Betty, but the woman.
Oh, that helpful.
Right. So there's another video going around of a father dropping his daughter off, nice braids in her hair. The mother, as she claimed in her response video, being petty Betty, she didn't like the fact that the father took the daughter to get her hair done.
Somebody other than her
Right.
touched her daughter's hair.
And she literally was standing there with scissors in her hand, cutting the little girl's hair
And the
off.
baby just sitting there just crying,
Just
crying her
crying.
little eyes out. Man, let me tell you something. And my ex-wife, she probably gonna join in when she see I'm on live. But
Come
let me tell you
on
something.
in the
Let me tell you
room.
something. If NT1s brings any type of scissors or anything to my daughter's hair, after I went and got it done because I wanted my daughter to look presentable and look pretty and whatnot, or however she wanted her hair done, I went and did that. Let me tell you, y'all gonna be putting money on my bugs. Y'all gonna be coming to visit me up in Castaic Lake or something, because I'm beating that ass. I'm sorry, not sorry. I don't give a damn.
Right.
You not gonna sit here and disregard or take away anything that I've done for my child because you don't like it.
Right.
Nah, that ain't happening.
And that is sort of we see it all the time. And I've always wondered, like, how, because I'm a product of my parents separated, all kinds of things like that. So I've seen, I'm at 41 and I'm still dealing with issues. I had this conversation with my stepmother yesterday. And it's so funny because we hear all these people, oh, child, I don't know I knew exactly what was going on when my parents separated. And it still affects. So how does that affect you as a parent? But then how do you communicate to the mother that this is going to affect our child?
No, but you have to look at it from the parents, like the mother. Again, she was pretty much fucked up.
Pretty much.
But her
That's
argument was that the braids were too tight, if I recall. And she's like, oh, well, I was totally in the right to do this. And how could you do this to her hair? Because you're the one who should be at fault, sent to the dad.
Right.
That you took her to somebody who doesn't love her and I can take care of her hair right. And so she's cutting her hair and like, oh, I'm the good guy. You're the bad guy. didn't really add up though
Right.
to me because like even cutting hair is not like you relieving the pressure in the scalp. She's always getting all like swollen and stuff
right.
like that.
She
It's
just
like,
wanted them bees to fall on the ground.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
that's all she wanted.
And what was even worse was her response video where she justified. And we see this all the time when there's a separation of two people. In this case, we're talking about men and women, heterosexuals. The child is always hurt. And how do you? I've never really had a really conversation, but I wonder like, what is the rationality in when you're making the child versus once the deed is done?
what do you mean? Like the rationale of making the child?
Knowing that there's going to be stuff to follow. Like if you didn't like her, if you knew she was a jump off,
You should have wore protection.
that's what I said. Again, I'm not a heterosexual, so I've never had that. But I've always thought it's like, and then me being a forward thinking person, it's like, why would you want to invest 18 years? But again, half of us would not be here if that were
That is
Yeah,
that
probably
is
even more
very
so.
true. I mean, my parents were married when I got here, so I can't speak to anybody else whose parents weren't married. But my parents were married, but my dad didn't stay around. So I grew up with me. It was me, my brother, and my mom for a lot of years. And I would want to say I was 12, 13. Got a call out the blue. Nobody called my house. Nobody had my number. I'm like, who the hell's calling us? Oh, it's your brother and sister. Wait, what? Them ain't, my mom was like, them ain't my kids and your daddy kids. Wait, what? So I had that kind of aspect of having an absentee father and finding out you have a whole another family
right.
out there. And from the age of from 12 to 28, found 6 other siblings.
Oh,
8 of us total.
wow.
4 boys, 4 girls. My parents were cool when he did come around. Other than that, I would have never seen him. And I told myself at a young age that I never wanted my kids to ever experience something like this.
Right. That's a good thing.
So I was going to do everything in my power to make sure that even if me and the mother never, if we didn't work out, my kids would know who I am. My child knows who I am. We talk almost every day. I had to get her iPhone so we can, do the whole FaceTime thing. So we talk almost every day. Like, she sees me, I see her. I don't physically see her, but I will this weekend. I'm going to go see her this weekend. But we've established a relationship, something I didn't have at her age with my father. So I always wanted to make sure, that never been an issue for my child, because I know what it's like to grow up without a father. You know what I'm saying? And for this gentleman, that he didn't even get a chance to raise the kid for a year, 10 months.
Right. It was told to him out of nowhere, and he had 2 days to respond and go to court. What were some of the things when you started having kids, Lorenzo, that you kind of either thought about doing or not doing, or made those conversations, whether they were spoken out loud or on yourself? What were some of the things that you went through?
Well, like when I found out I was having a kid, I just got married. It was like married maybe a month, and I was about to head to Desert Storm. I was in the Air Force, and even the reason I was getting married was like, oh, okay, I'm about to go to this place, and who knows if I'm coming back from this. So then I found out, okay, I'm going to be a dad. Okay, this could be interesting. Get my head around that. Well, at least I had a kid coming. He had a good mom, good family, so he'd be taken care of, and I would be hopeful I can come back and see him coming back from Turkey at the time. This is what I was thinking. And even when I was in Turkey, I would like write little comic books to my then wife and just kind of like telling from a fictional point of view, like my life story. So I would like have them like some kind of legacy. This is what's going on. This is what this is who your dad is, and blah blah. But eventually I did survive, surprisingly, and so I was able to still try to be myself with them. I know a lot of people, dads or moms, they have a facade that they try to present to the kid, like, this is how ideal is who I am, but it's not really them. And I would tell her, like, I'm always gonna be real with them, so I'm not gonna do any baby talk and crap like that. I'm gonna talk to them like I want to be treated. Like, if I had a parents that I really wanted, this is how I'm gonna be. So going from that angle to now, I always shut straight with them, so they know that they told me something, I'm not gonna BS them. I'm gonna keep a secret. I'm not gonna judge them. So they're more likely to come to me because I'm being real with them, and I've been real since their birth.
Right. That's important to establish that relationship at an early age. And as we see, I personally being 41, I see a disconnect of the generations. Everyone's younger grandparents, and I just don't see it. And being born here in Los Angeles, California, I just don't see the care. And I don't know where that comes from. Do you guys have maybe an idea, or because you see how you were raised by your parents, good, bad, or indifferent, but the parents today, I think it serves. And again, I'm not a parent, so I can't say for sure, but it just seems like an afterthought or just a ramification of just having sex, and then the child is there. And I know that even with my parents, a lot of that happened, but they did the best they could with what they had. It wasn't about me, and the parent is my friend. You ain't your parents' friend. You your parents' friend when you can pay a bill.
That part.
So
that part.
do you think? And again, we see the pettiness as she proclaimed. She self-proclaimed, "I'm petty Betty."
That lady, that girl was drunk off of Four Locos and E&J.
Okay,
Because she was slurring every other one. I was just wondering. I just wanted to know who put their hands in my baby hair.
Because what did you say? The brain meat.
The brain meat. What is brain meat?
I'm gonna put the video on my post so you guys can see the video we're talking about. But that right there was detrimental. Like, that little girl cried her eyes out, and because there's other videos of men dropping their kids off, the woman not, being supportive, and because she doesn't have a connect with the father, the children suffer. Is that something we see more now, or because we see it more now because of social media?
Yeah, most definitely.
Not saying that it hasn't gone on and it didn't go on, but it's a little bit more in our face now.
Yes, most definitely. Social media has taken you get to peek into any and everybody's lives. A lot of stuff when I was growing up, a lot of stuff when you was growing up, Armand. If you wasn't there, you didn't know. And now it's like a flick of a button. You get to peer in whoever's lives that you want to. Only thing you need to do is just turn on the internet.
Right.
And then speaking of the parents baiting the child, well, not baiting the child, but using the child as a bargaining chip or for leverage is, and you think you hurting the other parent, but in all actuality, like, your child is experiencing your behavior, and they're going to in time think that it's okay, that if I don't get what I want, I can do this, or I can say this, and I can hold this over this person's head to get what I want.
Right, manipulate.
Manipulation 101 starts at home.
Right.
And most of the time, we see is the mom, using the kid, against the daddy to get back with him, or trying to figure out how they're going to make this work. But I mean, if y'all couldn't make it work without a kid, what makes you think it's going to work with a kid? Like,
right.
That don't. Using the child as a bargaining chip, that doesn't entice anybody that doesn't want to be at home.
Right. And we see that. And so if we were to just say begin to peel back the Band-Aid on this age-old problem, what do you think some of the things can be done or can be suggested to new parents or parents right now to keep the child in mind?
And people need to be honest. And people really need to be honest with their intention. And we also need to have a spirit of discernment about who the people
Hey,
who we
that's
are
my
dealing
favorite
with.
word, yes.
Glory, hallelujah,
Yes,
yes,
discernment, honey,
yes.
yes.
You got to have that spirit of discernment.
Yes.
Like Lord of the Rings or something.
Right, just discernment everywhere.
You have to have it because you need to figure out who you're dealing with before you even jump into bed with anybody.
But you got to know who you are as well. Like some people
That is
forget
true.
they always look out, they don't look
That
within.
is also true because if you don't know who you are, you willing to accept anything.
Yeah.
Right. That's a universal message. It doesn't just not heterosexual, same sex attracted. Again, I'm doing these shows to try to start conversations that we don't have. I'm always one of my favorite things is accountability. As you can see, I made sure that I put it in my my disclaimer. But we have to. There comes a point. We have to stop making excuses. We have to say, and I always try to tell people, if you can't have an honest conversation with yourself, then you're defeating the purpose. You don't have to broadcast it, but it has to start within. And so you knew you didn't want to be with that person. You knew that person was a jump off. Then why not take precaution? This is not 1920. It's so many different ways to do. If you got to do a boom, put it out. Then so be it. Lips, hips, or fingertips.
You better take your ass to the gym and learn how to up your pull-out game or something.
But we're seeing that the kids are being damaged, and then the cycle repeats. So how do we begin, or where should we have these conversations to where it's possible to say, I'm doing harm to my child? Like that little baby with getting her hair cut, it was just sad. And again, I'm so, for Chef Dom to have done that, and he was so still trying to be upbeat, saying, it happened, he turned the baby in. And I hate to say it like that, but
he had to relinquish the child.
yeah, and and he's like, I'm not even mad with the bio's father because you can't be.
And I actually want to commend the biological father when the baby mothers told him about the child. He went and got his child.
Right.
And that is commendable.
Right.
It's a jacked up situation for Chef Dom, but it's also commendable that this man went and got his child that he didn't know nothing about.
Right. And again, she was being petty because again, she walked out. So the only
After
way
a month. After 30 days. If you had a cesarean, that means your stitches ain't even healed yet because you had to wait 6 weeks before you could do anything else, and your ass bounced in 30 damn days.
And told him, because you petty Betty.
You ain't shit. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just say, Armond, how PC do we have to be on this podcast? I just
What's PC?
Good question.
politically correct.
Oh, I know what it is. I just don't like it.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. So yeah, bitch, you ain't shit. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm just keeping 100. You ain't shit. Yeah, I commend the biological father for coming to get his child. It is a mess up situation for Chef Dom, and I hope that that the biological father and Chef Dom can create a relationship to where Chef Dom can stay in the child's life.
Right.
Because it's heartbreaking.
Just putting it up, like, again, it reminded me of, I don't know if anybody's familiar, one of my favorite Halle Berry movies is Losing Isaiah. And it's almost the same exact situation. Halle Berry was a crackhead. She gave her child up for adoption. Jessica Lange ended up being the mother, a white woman. When Halle Berry got back on her feet, she tried to take back her child. They went to court, everything. She actually won the case, but the boy was so used to being with Jessica Lange, he didn't want to go. And so she saw the best thing to do is let it go. And when I saw this story, I was like, oh my God, this is like Losing Isaiah. Lorenzo.
Well, to the point of like them sharing the kid makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Ideally, you want to be able to think what's best for the kid. Like this one guy who is the biological father probably doesn't have anybody else. A woman who want to take care of the kid. You want something?
Yeah.
Drink?
We can go and have a drink break.
Get your drink going, man. Yeah, that's the only thing I have on that particular subject. But on the kid front, and even the two fathers, I have to give some kind of blame to them because they definitely were with some kind of hoe. That they both could have been the freaking dad, and they were like, "Oh, I'm not. You the dad."
I was gonna go there, and I was like,
I'll go
"Who
there.
was cheating on who?" You know, when all this went down.
Right.
You know, I would have to say Chef Dom was with the lady, and the lady cheated on Chef Dom with the other guy, because for her to come back and say, "Hey, I'm pregnant," and for him to think that it was his child,
Right.
you know, they had been together.
Or, some people just, we've seen it played out. Some people don't know months, and they some people don't show. So
Oh,
it
they
could
went to
have
public
been.
school. You talking about they went to public school?
So she could have played that card saying, "Oh, I'm just bloated," and so But you don't. I would imagine you're excited, you're happy to bring a child in the world, even if you don't fully care for the woman. You know that this is going to be your child.
You're talking
So,
a man? As a man?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, I did the research. I went to his page, and he talked about, again, he took the responsibility. He said that was the best 10 months of his life, and that child made him grow up. And his page is just full of his recipes and his creation. So he had his parents come in and help him. He has 2 other kids. And so he had to relay this
Oh, wait, so
information.
this is not his only child?
No, this is his
been the
young-
first
yeah.
child.
Okay,
So
okay,
he has an
okay.
older daughter and an older son. So he had to tell that to them. He had to tell that to
Right.
the grandparents. He had a woman come in, or I'm not saying a woman, I don't know for sure, but someone to babysit that didn't even charge him because they cared so much about him.
I have a backstory question for you, man. So the other 2 kids, who's the mom? 1 or 2 moms?
It didn't say. I didn't see. I just saw that he,
Just trying to
he
see what
had
kind of
pictures.
stereotype we got going.
Yeah.
Right.
I just. Oh, you mean the ethnicity? Or?
No.
Oh.
The fact that he's like 3 different baby mamas and shit. That's
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about the kids, and because I'm pretty sure he wants to try to keep something to himself. But I did see pictures of him with his the older brother and sister. Him saying and he went down and saying he was so excited. He was looking forward to Thanksgiving. He was looking forward to Christmas. The 1-year-old, the 1-year birthday, and it happened. And again, I think he said on a Thursday, that's when he had to relinquish the custody and. That's probably a hard pill to swallow. To just come up and be like, oh, after you've done so much, you already working in the process of getting over the mother leaving.
Right.
After 30 days, like it's a contract from Rent-A-Center or something. She was out. And
90 days to pay up.
right. Same as cash. I don't mean to joke, but that's what it
That's
seemed
not
like.
funny, Armand.
Come on, it's hilarious.
And as I was going further, I'm going to read something else from the disclaimer of some of the stuff that I saw on the website for California's law. It says, in California, in some cases, the court may determine a child has more than 2 parents. This is usually done when it could hurt the child. In addition, parents were not legally recognized. If a person is established as a legal parent of the child, it is a crime for a legal parent to fail to support his or her child. A legal parent also has the right to get custody or visitation rights related to the child. Now, I've seen some cases where the mother wants child support, and that I don't think that's a loophole, because the father who is paying child support doesn't realize he has just as much right to the child as the mother, but it's never really harped on. So is that something you guys knew? Because I didn't. If you're paying child support, you can get your child.
Yeah, most definitely. Me and my ex-wife, we have 50-50 custody. That is one thing I did fight for. I'm like, I don't give a damn about anything else during the divorce proceedings. I want custody of my child. I want to be able to go get my child any time that I want. Because again, going back to the things I was saying earlier, I never wanted any of my offspring to ever not know the feeling of knowing who I am, because I hadn't been through it. My brothers and my sisters, we all been through it. My baby brother, he's really the only one that actually got a chance to grow up with our father. Which is a blessing for him. Unfortunately, my father's no longer here. Our father's no longer here. He died in 2011. But before he did pass, we were able to reconcile and start to try to have some type of relationship. But things happen, and he made this transition. But I never wanted my child to not know who I am, to having to figure out how am I going to be able to see my child when I want to, if I don't have custody. So that's one thing that I made sure. I'm like, I want to make sure that, we have 50-50 custody. I can go get her when I want. If I need to pay child support, that's fine. I don't care, because either way, I was going to take care of my kid,
So how do you guys begin the conversation, or is there a long process for child support? How does that work?
It varies. I mean, like we said, if you're doing shared custody and that kind of thing, then you're supposed to you get like a saving, so to speak, on the child support. Because like if it's shared, it's shared. So, but if you're saying I'm going to hardly be there, then you got to pay more child support. Because this is how it works. But that's how there's definitely in other states. I'm not sure about California. There's a formula they use based upon like how much money you both are making, the ratio of time with the kids, and that's that. I mean, you can decide on whatever, but the court will. You can decide, but the court will say this is the formula.
Right, but to me, that's always seemed one-sided, because the women that I've seen, they use that again as leverage. There was even talks about having a sort of like a debit card for the child support,
Actually,
where
there
it
is.
only
Now there is.
Okay,
Now
so it
there
has
is.
because I've always thought about, it's like, why is the woman, and I know personally that, they get the hair, the nails done, and a friend of mine, just posted he gave his daughter money for her birthday and had to come out of pocket again because the mother took the money and did what she did with it. And why is that? Or why are the women not held accountable for that? I see it as a one-sided thing. Again, if there's anyone who would like to comment and join in on the conversation, the telephone number is 323-577-7630. You can comment on the live feed or you can call in. But I want to know, why is that justifiable? And we've played with it, and you can't put a price tag on long hours, and that's true, but they do for the father.
Right. It's something I had taken issue with when my daughter was younger, because I'm paying a pretty penny for my child, and again, I don't mind it, because if she was with me, I'll be paying for it anyway. So, but what gets me is that after I know that she gets her the allotted amount, you calling me still asking me for money. I'm like, but I just gave you an X amount of dollars, and you still ask me for something like, what are you doing with that money?
Right.
And so it kind of ticks you off, but then it's like you have to understand that along with the support of the child, she needs a roof under her head. So she might have to use some of that money to pay the rent. She needs to get around to go, to get to school or whatever other activities that she might be doing. So yes, so some of that money might need to go into gas. It might need to go onto the car. It might need to go on to the insurance. So is after I had to change my frame of thinking, that it could be like it could not only be used specifically on the child with tangible things, that there's other aspects of her life that money needs to go to. And after a while I was just like, okay, just as long as my child's being taken care of, like, but it's still at the same time, it's like, come on, I can't be taking care of her by myself, all because she's with you all the time. I can't be taking care of her by myself.
Right. So how do we get a stance, or we begin to talk about, because it always, to me, has seemed one-sided, like the women are in favor.
No, because the women are in favor of just even having the kid in the first place, right? So I don't even look at it as far as the money going to her and what she's doing with it. I almost treat that as like paying taxes to the government. I can control I'm just giving money. Who cares? You do what you want. I can't really tell you what to do.
Right.
But at the very least, I'm going to have a decent relationship with her and the kid or kids. Because ideally, the relationship is what's going to last. The money's like, whatever. It's gone. Just forget about it. Can't do anything about it. But the kids and their mom, and to make sure there's no bad feeling, that the kids know that, hey, me and your mom didn't work out, but I still love her, and we love you. We love you. So the longer you put them in the priority, the other BS just will go away. Even if she's causing you grief, which it will happen.
Right.
If you still embrace all of them with love, she'll eventually say, what the hell am I doing? I'm the idiot here. She's a child, and the kids and the dad are ones who are like the parents. So she'll come boy. Everyone's like being a good parent to the mom.
Sometimes they won't even come to that conclusion.
Right.
That they
So
in the wrong.
how does it work during tax season? If you're paying child support, do you get is that taxable? And then I also know, and we joke in our community,
It's not.
I'm claiming kids.
It's not. Trust me, I done tried.
Really?
Well,
I done tried.
It's not taxable. It's taxable for her though, because
it's taxable for her
if she wants to. She can claim it as income.
Gets credit.
She can claim it as
credit.
What?
Well, not really credit. She's good because it's income. So she gets the income if she wants to.
So who claims that if you have 50-50 custody?
Who gets the dependent credit? Like,
Right, but I'm just
it's
saying-
negotiated. Like for
Okay.
me, it was like alternating. Since I had 2 kids, like we would just say have one each piece until one became like over 18. Then we just swap every other year. Like okay, you claimed them last year, I got them this year until they rolled off.
See, again, these are things I don't
We're not
know.
gonna talk about my taxes.
I'm sorry, man.
We're just not gonna put that out there. Well, I don't need that negative energy in my life right now.
What's our time, producer Paul?
We have about 10 minutes left.
10 minutes left. Okay. So, thank you, gentlemen. Again, I want to bring these conversations up. We don't have them. We, as a people, regardless of what we do, how we do it, we need to heal. And I think some of the things, I think it starts at home. So I'm glad to have this platform to use it to bring these ideas out, and hopefully someone will see the show and then start the conversation, whether it's in a group or whether it's something that we do for self. Again, I'm working on doing a show highlighting single mothers, as well as a show highlighting co-parenting.
I can give you a whole list of single mamas. I know a whole list of
Did
single
you say
mamas.
a whole
with-
list?
Whole. WHOL. E. Yeah. E. Whole.
But while you got that whole list, you also know there's a whole list too. I said it.
I don't have the whole list, but if you have the whole list,
Oh, you know I know what it is.
can you email me that
I
whole
can-
list? Because I
I
need to
told
have
you,
a
Rayshawn, the ones that I
conversation.
don't, the one that you can have them. I don't. We can do divide and conquer. Like I told you, we know how to do divide and conquer, right?
Yeah. We gonna have to talk about this off
Hold on 1
air.
second. Oh, 1 second.
Somebody is calling.
Hold on. You're on the air with Agree to Disagree Talk. What's up, Mr. Lowe?
Hey, how is it going?
I'm fine. This is my
I'm
brother,
sitting here
ladies and
watching the
gentlemen.
What's up, bro?
Hey, bro.
How you guys doing?
See my
Hey,
Lisa
so
right there.
Oh, geez.
sitting up here watching the show with you guys, and I think, like you said, I think it all starts at home. I really think it starts with the way we raise our children today to respect themselves
Yeah.
and the relationships that they have in the future.
Yes.
Now, I've lived as a single dad in the past, and fortunate for me, I didn't have with my ex. We didn't have any a horrible breakup. At the beginning, when we broke up, it was bad, but we learned to co-parent together, and it's worked out. So,
Right. And
my thoughts on my thoughts on it is that we got to raise our women better. We got to raise our men better. A lot of men are in this situation now because of men in the past that walked out on their women and didn't leave them with anything to take care of their children with. So the court system started to side more with the women.
Right.
I grew up with a single mom. So, like Armand, we watched her take care of us, you know? So I look. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was going to ask you, Harvey, knowing, because of course I was there, but when you found out Leanne was on her way, what were some of the conversations you had both with yourself and with Crystal to make sure, or trying to cover some of the things that wasn't provided by Daddy to us?
Well, like I said, like when, getting to the point where me and her broke up, me and Crystal broke up, and I knew that, like, they were going to have to, I was reliving the same life that my father had. Like, my children weren't going to have me in the household anymore. I'm trying to make it a point to be around more, because, I do see that sometimes when a man isn't in the house, we kind of forget about our responsibility, but that all that does is makes the woman more spiteful, and her only means of retaliation sometimes is to go after our paycheck. All right. So that it's a vicious cycle that just keeps building and building and building. Like I said, like we paying for the sins of our fathers past when we don't teach our children, like we don't teach our daughters to respect the men that they with, and we don't teach our sons to respect the women that they with.
Right.
So it's really like my man on the end said, is about getting back in touch with God, and it's about instilling some family values in your children now, so that they don't relive what we've gone through.
Right. Well, thank you so much, brother. We had this conversation. We've talked over the years, about just trying to do things a little bit better than happened in the past. So I applaud you so much. There's so much I have to say, but, you may be sitting in one of these seats one day, brother. So be on the lookout, Harvey. But thank you for calling in. I think our show's about to wrap up, but you and I will talk later. But thank you so much. I love you.
No problem. I just want to get a call in real quick before y'all got off the air.
I know. So it's funny because as you're calling, I see the little display picture of my nieces with you, so they get to see my niece. Well, two of them, because Chloe wasn't born in this picture. But we will talk later, okay?
All right, no problem. All right. You brothers stay safe.
All right. Thank you. Talk to you later.
All right.
So how are we on time, Producer Paul?
We got it 7 minutes.
Okay, 7 minutes. So yeah, so that's a little bit, my brother. Really proud of him, 3 kids, granddaughter,
All right.
So
Big Harv.
yeah, so
I actually had to back up a little bit. He was saying that we had to pay for the sins of other guys, right?
we can do divide and conquer.
And so, like, what do you mean by that? Like, the sins of our fathers? Like, to me, it's like these laws seem to favor the woman, but if you say that the fathers left, then when you have these laws to force them not to leave, if you really were trying to pay for the sins and make sure you would fix this situation instead of just go all in and be like
That's
retaliatory.
why they went after their check, because now that they're, that saying is cheaper to keep her.
And that breeds all kinds of love.
So I was getting the message that we couldn't. Can you guys, if you are on the live, can you hear me now? You guys couldn't hear the call in. Damn, that was good conversation. If you're still on the live, can you type in if you can hear or not? Because we're almost getting ready to wrap up. Yeah, I don't know. Damn it. But I again, I'm so heartedly there for what my brother said, and we've talked, individually and collectively, that it is has to start. I start seeing how I was doing things in life until I start learning to respect myself more. And so on whatever situation, whatever's going on, that's where it has to start. I always say people, they always joke and say, oh, hurt people hurt other people. And I say that's an excuse, because hurt people hurt other people because they want to. If you've been hurt in any way, shape, or form, hopefully you would want not to do it.
If
But
you
then
have any decency.
Right. But it takes time to get there. It's taken me time. I'm still working on it. And sometimes you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Right, it's an everyday process, and like you said, the conversation starts at home. And I want to go a little bit deeper into that. The conversation starts with the mirror. It starts with you, because you have to be honest. Like you said earlier, you have to be honest with yourself. And if you can't be honest with yourself, then it's a moot point to do anything else with anybody. Because while you sitting there thinking that you're always in the right for it in certain situations, you have to look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is not about you.
Right.
And I'm going to speak as in regards to the topic that we're talking about, as far as parents and dealing with their kids and with the other parent. It's not about you. It's not about him. It's not about her. It's about that child, and making sure that child has the best childhood that they can possibly have. To make sure that they have the stuff that you didn't have. Right. It's no longer about you. When that child comes into the world, it's no longer about you.
Right.
Well, it shouldn't even been about you in the first place. I mean, it should have been about the person you're with to create that child in the first place, right?
Well, true.
So a lot of times, like, you never forget about, this is all about me. Even when I'm sleeping with this woman, that's about me. I have this kid, it's about me. So everything's a reflection of you. Whether they're mistreating you, whether a kid is acting out of a place, it's all about, oh, I'm being embarrassed. I'm being like, no, it shouldn't be about that shit at all. It should be about that kid or the other people. You should be the last person on your mind about, oh, how is this going to affect me? What will people think? Oh, my God.
Right. But again, in this generation, I call it the microwave society. Everybody wants everything, when they want it and how they want it, and they forget the ramifications or the aftermath of the things that we do. So, Producer Paul, wrap it up. Okay. Again, gentlemen, thank you. This is my first double guest hosting, so
Don't be nasty, Armand. Don't be nasty.
Wait a minute.
Why you taking that,
Me of all people, I didn't even think about it that way. But
Armand,
that's
where are you going with this? Where are you going with this, sir?
man? He's talking about Eiffel Tower, and you
Right.
ruined everything.
oh, I see y'all about to. Hold on. But again, thank you, gentlemen, for coming in. Hopefully, I can have you guys back again. I also want to forget to say thank you to our sponsor for this show, Mr. Trevor David Hutchin of a Kid from Brooklyn Production. Thank you. If you would like to sponsor Agree to Disagree Talk, if you'd like to come in for one of our conversations, I'm also doing Inspire Spotlights. I'm so excited. I have a couple of people. A friend of mine, she has her own cobbler company. I have a fashion designer. I have some brothers I met at a
Cobbler. When you mean cobbler, do you mean peach cobbler?
She got all kind of cobblers. You would really like her. I'm gonna
Not
introduce her to you.
shoes?
Yeah, I said cobbler, not cobble.
Okay. Oh, so you talking about peach cobbler and apple cobbler?
right.
You talking about food,
I
basically?
was talking about
You
food.
make me hungry.
Oh yeah, you most definitely need to introduce
I
me
would
to her.
definitely-
Amen.
Shay,
Yes.
if you're
Shay.
watching, Shay, her name is Shay, the cobbler lady. I've known her for like over 15 years.
Shay the cobbler lady.
Yeah, I also
How you
met some
doing?
brothers at the Hollywood Food Farmers Market. They own their own tea company. These are brothers,
dope.
and I was really excited to meet them. So I'm working on doing Inspire Spotlights on the show, where I have people come in, talk about their business. We always hear about a person once they've made it, but we never really hear about the process, the self-doubt, the struggles of what it means to go and follow your dream. There's also a gentleman who owns his own barber college, where I get my hair. Shout out to Gabe at Prestige Barber College, my barber, Mr. Phil. So I'm excited about this leg of Agree to Disagree Talk. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you guys for tuning in. Agree to Disagree Talk every Tuesday, 7:30 to 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Again, comments, questions, concerns, sponsorship, just to say hi, hit me up. I'm there. Again, thank you very much. You guys have a blessed week. Be good to yourself. If not anybody else in this world, be good to yourself. With that being said, I almost forgot to mention there's so much going on. It's Fat Tuesday today.
Hell yeah.
That's it. Hey,
Mardi Gras.
hey.
It's Mardi Gras. I normally
I didn't bring
am
my
working at a
beads.
gig, but hold on a second. But thank you guys. It's also African American Black History Month. Know your history if you don't know it for
Is there a
yourself.
different Black History Month other than African American?
It can be, because people are very picky and precise. Some people want to be called African Americans. Some people want to be called Black. So I always try to be very inclusive, even though people try to exclude.
There you go, trying to be PC. He said he didn't like it, but he being
I
PC
got
right
you,
now.
right.
He's conforming.
But
got to be
I
PC.
didn't conform. I'm a transformer.
Yeah,
You know, you met Imani or Miss Nikki from the play. Me and Rayshawn were in a play. Shout out to Jermaine.
Jermaine Harris, what
Yes,
up, baby?
shout out to
Jermaine.
him. A play called The Boob Chronicles.
Boob Chronicles by Brandy
Yeah.
Harris'
Yes,
wife.
yes,
By
wonderful.
Brandy Harris, yeah.
So shout out to them. That's how me and Rayshawn met. We did 2 showings of it. It was really
Two
good.
shows.
And we're excited. I heard that we're going to go back. So I'm ready to put on the outfit again. Motorcycle.
Motorcycle.
That
yeah.
was Rayshawn's name.
Motorcycle ready to make a ride once again. Yes.
With Babe.
With babe. Sequoia. Shout out to Sequoia.
Shout out to
Baby, I
Sequoia.
need you to come back to the West Coast so we can ride once again, baby.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This is episode 16 of Agree to Disagree Talk.
Sweet 16.
Have a wonderful week. Be good to yourself. Be blessed to yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, who the hell else can you be honest with? With that being said, I'm over and I'm out.
Deuces. Good night.
Peace out.